Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Peachy and this channel is all about my Sylvanian Families collection. For today's video we're going to be taking a look at two new vintage sets in my collection. So these are both Japanese exclusives from the Sylvanian Kitchen range. And I got both of these second hand on Mercari Japan and then used a forwarding service to get them shipped to me here in the UK. So on the left we have the Sylvanian Kitchen Forest Cake Shop, and then on the right we have the Sylvanian Kitchen Stairs. And these two cuties in the middle, whilst not new to my collection, are from the Sylvanian Kitchen range. They're the chef and waitress costumed pair set. The Sylvanian Kitchen range of products first came into the Sylvanian range in the year 2000. And they were a kind of tie-in product with the real-life Sylvanian Kitchen restaurants. So if you went to the real-life restaurant, they had kind of like a gift shop and ability to buy stuff there. And this range of products was exclusive to those restaurants. So taking a look in this book, I can show you the items in the range, although at least the ones that are published in here. So there's the Sylvanian Kitchen restaurant itself, which I'll show you in person later on in the video, and then there's some kind of food items, chef and waitress uniforms. You can see the stairs there. And then here is the cake shop, and then there's some other food bits and bobs that were kind of adjacent to this range. So I think that's all the history covered. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the items. So first up we have the stairs, and these were released in 2000. So it doesn't come with any figures or any decoration, it's literally just the stairs themselves. I do like this setup image though. I like the way that they've decorated it with the flowers, and I also like this little basket of fruit they've put underneath, kind of like a storage area. You can see the stairs themselves, so this is the item you get in the box, and you also get a sticker to go here. And then on the back it shows you setting up with the Sylvanian Kitchen restaurant, and also I think this was called Orchard Cottage in the UK range, but essentially one of the starter home moulds. So now let's take a look at the stairs themselves, and I'm 99% sure these are the same mould as the bakery stairs, so we'll have a look at that as well. So here are the stairs. They're a lovely cream colour, and then the wood is brown. Got a nice piece around the back here with a railing that could be used for storage outside the restaurant like was shown on the box. And then here is the place where the sticker would go. So mine was second hand, but it hadn't been used, so the stickers haven't been applied yet. So here they are. As you can see, it came with 4 different options, and I'm leaning towards this one here. I think the menu board is very cute, but I'm not quite committed yet, so I'll have to have a little more of a think on that before I stick any of these on. But now let me grab the bakery stairs and we can compare them. So here are the bakery stairs, and this is from the Tomy era bakery. Not the very first one, but I think the second one that came into the range. And yes, you can see these are exactly the same. The only difference is the colours. So this one's got the brown kind of wood effect stairs with the cream railings, and then this one's kind of the other way around. Completely the same mould. So if you couldn't get hold of these would be an absolutely fine substitute if you want to create the same kind of setup that I'm going to show at the end of the video. So that's the stairs. Now let's move on to the Forest Cake Shop, as I'm sure that's probably going to be a little bit more exciting to watch. So here we have the Forest Cake Shop, and this was released in 2001. And I know what you're thinking, I probably don't need another cake shop, being that I have quite a few already. However, bear with me, once you see the setup at the end, I think you'll agree that this was a very necessary addition to my collection, and that's how I'm justifying it to myself. I love the packaging for this Sylvanian Kitchen range. I really like the green colour that they've used on the box, and as well as the little details all around the border. Nice big image here of the front side of the shop, and here you can really see these lovely big windows which really let you see inside. There's a little mouse here. I think it might be a Norwood mouse dressed as a baker, I think there was an edition of this that you could get with him included, but this is just the standard building only version. So this side of the box shows us the inside. So there's a little counter space and a place for trays, and also another kind of counter over here where you can pick out your own breads. The back of the box shows some more setup images and closer images. So here again is showing those lovely big windows. Close up on the counter with all the little cakes, and also a close up on the kind of self-service area with the trays and the tongs and everything. So this one is secondhand and has been used. It's all complete apart from this little red string that you can see here. So this is missing, but I'm not really worried about that as it's going to be quite easy to substitute something like that. On this side you can see everything that comes in the set. So obviously the building, the little glass counterpiece, and then here's all the smaller accessories. So lots of nice cakes, again, trays and all of that. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. There's nothing on the bottom of the box. The top of the box does have this handy little handle. So this is quite common on a lot of the older box sets. Repeats of those images, and then if I turn it around, so this is the setup that I want to recreate at the end. So I already have the Sylvanian Kitchen Restaurant, and I've done a video on that ages and ages ago now. I think it's like the 4th or the 5th video on the channel, so it's probably a bit janky now, but if you do want to go and watch that, I'll pop a link to it here. But do bear in mind that it's when I was first starting out, so it's probably a little bit embarrassing now, with the stairs and this forest kitchen restaurant, and this is what I want to recreate. So I saw this image on Google, I think it was, when I was looking at the Sylvanian Kitchen Restaurant originally, and ever since then I've been looking for these two other parts to recreate this. I just think it looks absolutely fantastic all together, and that the double layer really works very well. So that's the box. Now let's go ahead and look at the building itself. So here is the building. This is the front facing side. You've got these lovely big windows. There's no acrylic or anything in there, so you can kind of put your hand straight through. Also a nice big doorway. I like the stickers above the door and also running around the top here. These are a little bit damaged in places. You'll see it more on the side, but this front one is looking pretty good, and that's the one I was most worried about. Got a nice awning over here which says Sylvanian Cake Shop. And then if I bring you in closer, there's some lovely details around this frieze at the bottom. So I don't know whether that's quite showing up on camera, but there's like wheat and little patterns. I think you can see it more clearly here on the door. It's a very nice attention to detail. And then we've got this wood effect flooring as well that runs throughout the shop. On the left side, you can see here that damage I mentioned. That's something that I need to fix up. I think some glue and maybe a little bit of colouring or paint will help just hide that a little bit better. And then we've got a window here with another awning. Again, we've got Cake Shop. Again, no acrylic in here. You can pop your fingers or hand right through. It makes it easier for setting up. Though I do like it when there's acrylic in the windows. It just makes it that little bit more realistic. It's got this kind of slatting all the way around and this lovely kind of pinky red roof. So this building only has those two walls, and then this is the inside. So this is the counter. The glass part lifts off, and then there's also this piece that sits in there, paper piece. This again is a little bit damaged, but it's not too obvious once we get all the cakes and stuff on there. There's then a nice window ledge along here. And also this is the serving area. There's a predefined part for trays, and then there's a stick-on piece here for the tongs. There's also a little notch just above the window here where that wreath will hang. There's also some very nice detailing above there, kind of embossed detailing, if I can get it to focus. Just in there above the window nook. And there's more of lovely frieze details around these windows. More embossing in here. And another sticker here. This one's peeling slightly at the side, so again that's just going to need a little bit of TLC to get it looking nice and neat again. Wood effect floor throughout the building, and then the bottom is just kind of as you'd expect, that counterpart is moulded in. So that's the building itself. Now let's have a look at the smaller accessories. So first up, it came with a storybook, and this is quite big actually. It's nearly as big as my hand. It's a cute little drawing of the building on the back. And then obviously it's all in Japanese, so I can't read it right now, but that's one for Google Translate later. It's got some cute little cartoony images in the book. And I'm sure the story is all about the little cake shop. And then for the accessories themselves, I think we'll do the setup as I'm kind of showing them to you, and then at the end we'll do kind of the big setup with the Sylvanian Kitchen Restaurant as well. So first up, we've got one part that attaches to the wall. So this is the little tong hanger. So you could grab some tongs and then do self-service of some of the breads. And this just has some double-sided tape on the back, so I'm just going to peel that off and stick it to the wall. And since the trays are going to be over here, I will stick it just here so that the tongs and trays go together. I hope that's going to be high enough. If it's not, we can always move it later. Then the trays will go in this little nook here. Speaking of, I'll show you those now. So you get 3 of these really pretty kind of pastel pale pink trays. The trays themselves aren't anything particularly special, the moulds are quite basic, but I do really like the colours on these. And you get 3 of those, and they should slot very nicely into this little gap over here. So let's try that. They stack nicely on top of each other, and then they should in theory just pop in there like that. Then to finish that little section, you get 3 pairs of these tongs. Again, these are not particularly different to the normal moulds, I don't think, but they do seem to have this kind of bumps here that make them just look a little bit more realistic. Unfortunately, there's some residue on them from where they've been twisted out of the kind of plastic holdings, so I'll probably end up sanding those down when I've got a bit more time. But I think the moulds in these are quite nice, and they just hang on this little bar here, so you can kind of grab a tray, grab a pair of tongs and self-serve. Then next up we've got a kind of wicker effect basket. These are quite common in the range, things of this type for putting kind of food goods in, and this is what we're going to be putting all our little bread products in. And this fits nicely just over here, perfect fit, and then you'll be able to see in through the window as well what's on display. And above that is the little wreath that hangs. So this is a bread wreath, and it looks like it's got this kind of green ribbon all around it. This is quite nicely detailed, like the little kind of red currants on it as well, and I've just created a little replacement for that red thread just out of some different red thread. And I'm hoping I've made that big enough to fit into that little notch and hang up. And I have. I'll probably look for something a little bit thicker just to make sure it's really secure in there, but that will do the job for today. Then onto the breads that we're going to pop in here. So first up we've got 3 melon pan or melon bread. So these are a nice kind of pale cream colour. They look quite realistic to how melon pan looks in real life. And I'm going to pop those into here. And we'll see how well everything fits once we've kind of tried to put everything in here. Next up we've got these adorable little acorn shaped breads. So it's bread and then it looks like it's been dipped in chocolate on the top to make this adorable little acorn shape. I think these are very, very cute and nicely unique to this building. On the back they're kind of lighter coloured. Then we've got another set of 3, and these to me look like bread maybe dipped in white chocolate and with some seeds or nuts on them as well. So you get 3 of those. And then to sit alongside those is another set of 2, and this time they're adorable little mouse-shaped breads. They've got kind of red, almost like berries in the ears, or maybe jam, something like that. I think these are very cute again. And I'm going to pop those alongside the ones we just popped in. Looking good so far for fitting everything. Then for this final little compartment over here, another set of 3. So these are chocolate cornets. See, they're kind of a cornet shape of bread filled with chocolate. These are one of my favourite treats to get. Absolutely delicious. They're a bit messy when the chocolate's trying to go everywhere. And then last but not least, for over here, we've got 2 cute flower shaped breads. These look a bit like daisies or something like that, like the 2 tones of colour used. And there's that part all nicely filled out. Then for the windowsill, we've got this little baked mascot of a chef mouse. The detail on this is really nice. I like the paint job. It does very much look like bread. And on the box, he's just shown as standing on the windowsill just like this. It's kind of a little mascot for the shop. I think with the mouse themed items in this set, I'm probably going to select a mouse to be the baker here. So now let's move forward and do the cake counter. I'm just going to take the top off for now so it's easier to set it up. But the first item we're going to pop in here is this Yule log or chocolate log. This is very cute. It's a different mould to the other chocolate log in the range. Still looks very wood and log-like. It's got a little bit coming up here and some nice berries on the top there. It's probably not quite as detailed as the other chocolate log, however it is older, so I think that probably explains why that is. I'm going to pop that there. This piece has developed this annoying little bump in the middle, so if we don't weigh it down with all the cakes, I might just pop some tape under there to tape it flat. Next up on the cream cakes, we've got these little smiley face cream cakes, and they look like they've got a little kind of curl of hair made of cream on the top. I'm going to pop these in next to the Yule log. Then 2 more very cream cake looking. So these are almost like kind of little cupcakey things. Got some red berries on the top there and little whips of cream. And then next to them I'm going to pop these more traditional kind of cream cake looking things. Again, cream and jam in the middle there and this lovely pastry on the outside. Then we have 3 slices of what I presume to be kind of Victoria sponge cake but fully iced. Again, cream and a berry on the top. White fondant all the way around. These look very yummy as well. Again, some more bits just there that need sanding down. And then finally on the smaller individual cakes, we've got these which I think look either kind of like caramel or lemon slices. Something like that. And they've got a nice big dab of cream on the top along with some slightly different coloured icing. And then there's also some slightly bigger cakes. So here's the first one. And this has this lovely leaf detailing round in what looks like chocolate. And then a kind of deep purple icing. And then 2 individual slices. This is maybe a cheesecake or something like that. The inside of the slices isn't particularly detailed, but I think the top does look very nice, and it also all fits together to run the pattern all the way around. And then the final item for the cake kind of cabinet is this other big cake, and this one looks like it's almost Neapolitan. It's got vanilla ice cream with strawberry and chocolate kind of whip on the top, and again not very detailed on the inside, but I think the top looks really cute. Okay, I'm just going to have to move everything else up a little bit. And there we go, there's everything fitted in nicely. Put this glass back in on the top, and there we have that. Just a couple of items left now. We have the cake kind of scooper cake fork thing for serving the slices. I'm going to pop that in here with the cakes. And then there's also 2 glass jars which have cookies and candy in them. So these are quite reminiscent of the ones from the village store, the Tomi village store. They look almost identical, but the moulds are not the same. The lids on these do come on and off, and these are just card inserts which make it look like they're full. And you also get 1 extra card insert of kind of looks like hard candy. So this is the shape, and it folds into the little jar, and you could use this as a pattern if there was something else you wanted to go in these jars. I've selected these 2, so I'm going to pop this one to the side for now, and I'm going to pop these up on the counter so the customers can also see these if they'd like to have something from the jars. And that is all the pieces that this set comes with. In terms of detail, obviously it's not as detailed as the more modern cake shops and some of the more modern bakery items. However, this is kind of from the transitionary period where we were going from quite simply detailed items to the really, really detailed items of the kind of mid to late 2000s. So I think you can see it's bridging a gap there between the 2 kind of eras. Overall, I'm really happy with it. It's very cute. There's plenty of space to have people walking around, and there's lots of room for additional details if you want to put those in as well. Now let me grab the Sylvanian Kitchen Restaurant and we can do the final setup. So here's the Sylvanian Kitchen Restaurant all set up how I have it on my shelf, with the lovely woolly alpaca family and the Bababuk grandparents dining in. Also got the chef working over here and the waitress about to pick these up and deliver them out. So this is going to form our first floor, and then we're going to pop the cake shop on top, and I'll show you what it all looks like together. So here's the kind of mini finished setup. I absolutely love how everything looks together. The stairs, the building, the forest cake shop, it all just looks so great together, like how I've been imagining in my mind. So if I take you in a little bit closer, downstairs we've got the Forest Kitchen Restaurant, just as you saw before. I've added some kind of shrubs and flower pots and things just to make it a little bit brighter, and the Timbertop grandparents are having a nice meal outside. Then coming over to the steps, I kind of stole the flower idea from the box and popped some flowers on the steps, and then there's some veg being stored underneath and also a bike parked here. Thought that was a good space for that, and it kind of helped fill in a gap. We've got the tuxedo cat and mother coming up the stairs to the cake shop, and then there's the Thistlethorn daughter looking out. This part here has quite a lot of space, so you could probably put another chair and table kind of set up here if you had quite a small one. I've gone with some more flowers. Then you can see Basil in there. He's acting as baker today until I make a decision on who's going to kind of run this shop full time. And then you can see the McCarthy cat and little baby toddler selecting some breads, and Mr. Whiskers is also coming in to pick up some cakes. I'm really happy with these two new additions. This kind of came out exactly as I'd been picturing it in my mind, which makes me really happy. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.